Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's been 5 years since the Time magazine cover with Laverne, the
Six,
trans tipping
six
point.
years. Six
Six
years. That was
years.
2014. Yeah.
So when you think about kind of where Hollywood has been since that cover, I mean, that cover changed everything. There was a lot of conversation about that, rightfully so. Um, I'm curious if you think that things got significantly better or maybe slightly better, or like where do you see how things have come over the past 6 years since that moment?
I've been thinking about this. When Orange is the New Black premiered in 2013, there were no openly transgender actors with recurring roles on television shows. And I think last time Glad counted, there were about 26. I don't know if that's current, but and that feels significant, right? But we're
Hmm.
going from zero to anything feels significant. So I mean, when you have nothing to
Yeah.
something, it's like, oh. So the context is everything. um, when I think about a show like Pose and how many trans people are on the screen, but also how many trans people are behind the scenes and writing, producing, directing, doing makeup, consulting, that feels so glorious, And I think about, a lot of what's happening on television, probably more than in film. I get really excited, and I think I just always what I get excited about is seeing different stories too, because I think for a really long time we were seeing the same thing over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many sitcoms I saw where there was a high school reunion and someone came back and they were trans. I literally have seen that story like 5 or 6 times. So that I'm not just that there's more trans representation, that more trans people are playing trans people. But that the stories are different. When I watched Euphoria, I was like, oh, this is a very different story than I've seen before. And this reflects the realities of trans people's lives that I need to see. I think the world needs to see. I think the word transgender was uttered once in the first season of Euphoria, which is like, come on.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant, but the character is indeed trans. When I see Taylor Mason on Billions, that the brilliant character played by Asia Kate Dillon, it's fantastic. I mean, like Taylor is, openly non-binary on the show, but and everyone gets the pronouns right, which is huge. Can we talk about how
Hmm.
everyone in this like sort of venture capital cutthroat world is able to get Taylor's pronouns right on Billions?
Yeah.
Like that is incredible. That's amazing. But at the same time, it's not even about Taylor being non-binary. It's about how brilliant Taylor is and how Taylor struggles with morality and their morality around the environment, and so much of that in this sort of dog eat dog, sort of, predatory capitalist context. And that's really interesting in this hyper-masculine context. And Taylor is Taylor. And so that it's just the humanity there. It just gets
Hmm.
me very excited. Can we have more? There's so many stories though that have not been told. There's so many intersections that we have yet to explore, and I'm hoping to do more of that. But I do get excited when I see shows like Euphoria and shows like Billions, where trans people just get to be people.
Hmm.